Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com. This is the 8th tutorial in our series of beginners Java tutorials, and in this tutorial we're going to look at a whole bunch of things. I'm going to show you do-while loops, and we'll look at variable scope and also multi-line comments. So a really common task that gets assigned to beginners in Java courses is to ask the user to enter some input and then to loop until the user enters some particular input. So for example, I could say ask the user to enter a number and then keep asking them to enter a number until they enter the number 5, for example. So let's see how we would do that using a while loop. The first thing I need is a scanner object, and as I said in previous tutorials, don't worry too much about this syntax at the moment, just get used to typing it. So I've created a new scanner object which I can then use to get input, and I'll say to the user enter a number, and then I will get the number I enter. I'll say int value equals scanner.nextInt, and now I want to keep asking them to enter it until they enter the number 5. So to do that, using a while loop, I could say while value not equal to 5, do the loop, and in the loop I would have to say enter a number again, and I would have to get the value again. Now you'll notice straight away a problem with this. I'm getting an error here, and the reason for that is I've got 2 int values and you can only have 1. So I'll get rid of this int because I've already declared this here and I can use it again down there, no problem. And what I'll also do is I'll say at the end got 5, because this loop will only finish if someone kills the program somehow, or if the user does enter 5. So I'll run this and I'll enter 3, 8, 7, 5, got 5. So it works, but it's not really ideal because this and this are practically identical and I'm repeating them. And I can solve that problem using a do-while loop. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this code, actually, and I'm going to do that with a multi-line comment. I'm going to comment out the code, and a multi-line comment in Java looks like this. /* is where you want to start the comment, and then where you want to finish the comment, type */, and I've turned this into a comment so it doesn't do anything. And that's really handy for just temporarily disabling code that you don't want to use but that you don't want to delete. But it's best not to let too many of these commented out blocks build up in your program, because then it will just look like a total dog's breakfast or a pig's ear. Now a do-while loop looks like this. You have the keyword do and an opening curly bracket and a closing curly bracket, and the code that you want to run goes in here, and the condition goes here. So you've got while, round brackets and a semicolon, and in here I can check some condition, for example value not equal to 5, and as long as this condition is true the loop will go round and round and round. Now the difference between this and a while loop is that because I'm only checking the condition at the end of the loop, there will always be at least one run of the loop, because regardless of what this condition is, when my code gets down to here it will execute this stuff, then it will check the condition, and if the condition is true it will go round again, and if it's not true it will just drop out the bottom. So here I could have my sysout enter a number prompt, and then I might think, okay, I will get my value here, and I might think that would work. So I get the scanner up here, I still need that, and then I come down here and it's a do while loop, so I will enter the loop. I'll say enter a number, then I'll get the number, and then if the number is not equal to 5, I will go around the loop again, and I'll keep going until it is equal to 5. Then the loop will stop here, and I'll print this, got 5. Now you can see there's an error here, and that has to do with variable scope, because when you declare a variable, for example int value or string name or whatever, that variable only exists within the curly brackets in which it's declared. In fact, it only exists within the innermost curly brackets in which it's declared. So there are more pairs of curly brackets here, for example, containing the main method, but it's basically within this pair of curly brackets, and for that reason, outside of those, it doesn't exist, and value doesn't exist here, for example, where I need to check it. So to get around that, I need to declare it outside the curly brackets. So I'll put it here, and I'll give it a default value, and then here I can just use it, and here I can happily use it as well. And variable scope is very, very important in Java and many other, practically all other programming languages, so you have to always bear it in mind. And now I run this program and it says enter a number, so I can enter 3, 7, and when I finally enter 5, hey presto, the loop terminates and this executes. So that's all for this tutorial. And in the next tutorial we will look at another basic building block of computer programs, the switch statement. So join me again for tutorial 9, and until then, happy coding.